call to order the City Council regular meeting for the City of Wyoming, Minnesota, October 3rd, 2023. Let the record reflect, we do have a quorum. Member Luker, Member Onstad, Member Yeager, and Mayor Iverson are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, open forum? No? Okay, we'll move on. Approval of minutes is number 1 on the agenda. Consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for September 19th, 2023. If there are no comments or questions, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. On to the consent agenda number 2 and number 3. Does anybody wish to pull an item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve number 2 and 3 on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So passed. Acknowledge receipts of reports of officer boards, commissions, and department heads. Number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I wish to pull number 4, please. Does anybody else wish to pull anything?
Okay.
Linda?
No?
No? All right. So number 4 is the update from Chief Bauer. Chief Bauer, what I was hoping for is just for you to give a public update on our MMB tour and give thanks to our community members and our employees that really worked hard and did some really great things.
Yeah, as you know, I was on vacation, so it was the tour came through, the legislatures came through, and Mr. Linwood, how many ended up coming? Was it 30?
We had anticipated up to 30. We had 22.
Okay, great. Staff did a great job presenting, putting materials together to really tell the story about why, for the need of the public safety facility. Both fire and police were there to present. They provided information on essentially one of the key topics was around the victim-centered interview spaces for the PD, that we just don't have great space to do interviews of victims. And from the fire perspective, talked about there's no decontamination area, how really it's an unsafe environment in our current facility. So in addition, we had the director of the Family Pathways for Domestic Violence came and spoke about also speaking to that victim-centered interview space would be really valuable. Really an awesome job by everyone involved. I got lots of text messages afterwards saying how great everyone did. So it was a great way for our staff to show that they were very proud of working here and being a part of the department. So.
Great. All right. Thank you. And Mr. Linwood, MMB, why is that important for them to come here?
It is very important. So this is the House the House MMB tour, which is in Capital Investment Committee for the state of Minnesota. So there are not a lot of projects that get tours. So getting a tour here is a great step for the city for this project. So it's exciting to have the coach bus here with all those different legislators. As Chief Bauer echoed what he said, really just a great job by all of our employees, the police department getting everything ready, spokespeople from the police department and the fire department, Sergeant Rod and Chief Milligan. Also our administrative staff really did a great job pulling together some of the graphics and displays as far as having those ready for billboards. And then just the overall presentation, I think it went really well and was well received and got a lot of positive comments back. So it was a great first step as we go through this process. And now we're hopeful that the Senate MMB will be visiting in December.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. It's
welcome.
always good to understand that process that we're going through. All right, we'll move on to number 9, communications. Mr. McFarland, are you doing that one? Or is Mr. Linwood?
I will actually take that one,
Okay.
and then I think maybe if any other questions, our engineer, public works superintendent. But this is just a communication of the council, as we always do, regarding our monitoring within our wells. This is in regards to our radium on our well 3 entry point. This is a well that we have an MOU with the Minnesota Department of Health, and that we just have to continue to collect data and analyze that. It is within the acceptable levels as outlined in our CA. And essentially, this information will then go to our city engineer, WSB, and they'll continue to plot those on a regression line to monitor those wells. So just simply a communication to the council that we are still within those acceptable levels.
All right, great, thank you. Sorry about that, Mr. McFarland, I just thought I'd scare you a little bit.
Well, here, I'll scare you. I have a question. How long before this well is unusable?
I think if you remember here a few years back, we did have that work session in regards to what that.
And I saw which way the graph
Right,
was
and I think
going.
that was when, too, we had some higher, within that regression line, we had some movement. We have since then have had some movement back down, so I think
Okay.
at one point we were as low as 10%, and I think we're back up to 30% now, so we continue to monitor it, certainly, in regards to that, and if at one point in time, I think during that work session, we talked about maybe down the road, a potential of a water treatment plant, but we still, at this point in time, are not recommending that or have that in the works based on the current results, but as I stated, we certainly will continue to have our engineering watch that line and make sure that we don't see start to see a change in it in regards to that, so.
And, well, you said contaminant is gross alpha in water. So, different from radium?
I'm sorry, I apologize, can you repeat the question?
All right, they said the contaminant is gross alpha in water. How different is that from the radium?
I can certainly provide a report. It's not my area of expertise.
Okay.
Certainly, if you want some additional information, we could work with our water wastewater group and provide a little bit more detailed answer to your questions.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Kidding, did you have anything you wanted to add? I went right over you and I apologize.
No, they've got it covered there. We do our regular testing as prescribed by the Department of Health, and, you know, as Mr. Linwood had mentioned, we're all within range and
That's good news.
good to go, yeah.
Yeah, perfect, good, we like good news, so thank you. New business, number 10 on our agenda, to consider the hiring of Amy Erickson as Administrative Assistant Records Clerk at $31.35 an hour, with a tentative start date of October 23rd, 2023. Chief Bauer, are you taking this one?
Yes, please. Madam Mayor, members of council, as you know, we had a position vacated earlier this year, the Administrative Assistant Records Clerk position. We put the posting out there, received well over 60 applicants, which was pretty incredible. Did multiple interviews, and out of that interview process, we identified several really good candidates. One of those candidates was Amy Erickson. She has been a records deputy for Itasca County Sheriff's Office since 2018. So she brings forward really good experience that will allow her to step in and get working right away. So that was very desirable in our process to find somebody that had that prior experience, and we had several candidates that had that. So considering her prior experience, we are looking at bringing her in at step 5 at $31.35 an hour with 2 floating holidays and 1 vacation day. And her effective start date, she's looking at October 23rd right now.
All right, perfect, thank you. So questions from council, we'll start with Member Luker.
I have no questions.
Member Yeager.
Does the city usually give 2 floating holidays and a vacation day upon employment for new employees?
That is standard.
We have been doing that, okay. Thank you.
All right, Member Onstead?
No questions, but glad to see a lot of applicants.
And I have no questions either, so I will move to approve the hiring of Amy Erickson as Administrative Assistant Records Clerk at $31.35 with a tentative start date of October 23rd, 2023. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 11, to consider Resolution 23-1094, a resolution declaring the cost to be assessed and ordering preparation of proposed assessment roll for the 2023 Street Improvement Project. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. Thank you. We're very pleased to have this project just about completed. We've worked through and identified project costs. We're pleased to identify that the assessments have come down from what we had projected in our feasibility study. Just want to provide just a little background of the project here while I can. The road is obviously back open. We have some minor punch lists that we're continuing to work through. The bridge portion of the project, which is not assessed, will be starting on the 9th, and the road will be closed for about a month. And we're working with Polaris and the 3 property owners that are located between the bridge and Polaris regarding access and garbage service and postal delivery, things like that. That portion east of Polaris, again, not assessed, other than the agreement that we had with Polaris, has been completed and paved, with shouldering being one of the last components of that, and that'll be completed yet this week as well before the road is closed west of the gate. So with that, I wanted to just again quick highlight the overall high-level view of this. The assessment rate per unit in our feasibility study was identified at $7,514.44. That has come down based on what is assessable. And again, we're not assessing for the sidewalk, we're not assessing for the sanitary sewer, not assessing for the water main improvements, not assessing for the overlay or the bridge, anything like that. So it's strictly the surface improvements and the drainage improvements. And that net assessment amount has been coming in now at $7,190.52. So with that, staff is recommending approval of the resolution, and I can cover really both items. One is the resolution declaring the cost to be assessed, and the other is setting the public hearing date. And in the council packet, we do have really kind of a template that we've had for noticing property owners of the upcoming assessment hearing. We're looking at just modifying that, making it a little bit more soft and a little bit more easily read rather than quite so rigid. We have some thoughts on how we can improve that a little bit.
Great. All right, questions from council? I am gonna start by saying this, that 3 of us walked the parade route. And I won't speak for you guys, but I know I was doing the happy dance. The road was great. There were so many residents that we knew that were concerned coming in here that we were able to talk to during the parade, and they said it was better than what they expected.
That's
So,
great to hear.
yeah, so in that crosswalk, of course, we all know I'm big on crosswalks, so that was pretty exciting to have that. So, with that being said, I'm pretty excited in the fact that it's less money than what we originally thought, so that's good too. So we'll start with Member Yeager,
No questions.
Member Onstead.
No questions, but I agree with your comments.
Thank you. Member Luker.
Also no questions.
All right. So we need a motion to approve Resolution 231494, resolution declaring the cost to be assessed and ordering preparation of proposed assessments. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Onstead. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So passed. And then number 12, which is what we just talked about, to consider Resolution 231095, a resolution calling a public hearing on assessments for the 2023 street project. Mr. Erickson or Mr. Linwood?
Mr. Erickson again?
Yeah, that is the same item. We're looking at, if you're inclined, to set that public hearing date for that November 7th city council meeting. If you're inclined to do so, we'll make sure to send out public notice, both in the paper and the U.S. mail to each individual property owner.
Okay, sounds good. Question from Council Member Luker?
Nope.
Member Onstead?
No.
Member Yeager?
No questions.
All right, we need a motion to approve the calling for a public hearing, so Resolution 231095, a resolution calling for a public hearing on November 7th, 2023. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Onstead. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 13, Mr. McFarland. This will be for you. All right. To consider a proclamation declaring October 1st through October 31st, 2023 as Manufacturer Month in the city of Wyoming.
All right. Honorable Mayor and members of the council, the item before you is a proclamation declaring October as Manufacturers Month in the city of Wyoming. As I'm sure you're all likely aware, manufacturing is incredibly important to the economy of the state, the county, and the city of Wyoming. The purpose of this proclamation is to just thank the businesses, the manufacturing businesses that are located within the city. And then secondly, we also want to highlight with this proclamation that the Chisago HRA and EDA, along with representatives from DEED and representatives from the school districts of North Branch, Forest Lake, and Chisago Lakes, and the city of Wyoming, have been working together to organize a manufacturing event, which is scheduled for October 11th at Split Rocks. That event is for students that will be able to visit local businesses and learn about potential careers in manufacturing. Specifically, two businesses in Wyoming that are going to be doing the tours are Regal Machine and Rosenbauer. And so with that, there's nothing else, so just happy to take any questions.
All right, great. Thank you. I know that we've been involved since the very beginning, and it's very exciting to keep having this over and over again. So, questions, Member Onstad?
No questions.
Member Luker?
No questions.
Member Yeager?
No questions.
All right, we need a motion to approve the proclamation declaring October 1st to the 31st as Manufacturer Month in the city of Wyoming. I'll make the first. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 14, we are going into a closed session, so what I'd like to do is council reports. So let's go with, it should be pretty short. Member Luker?
I have no report. Thanks for coming.
Member Onstad?
I attended the Park Advisory Commission, and thanks for everyone coming by.
All right, Member Yeager?
No report. Thank you for coming and thank you for watching.
Right, and I attended the park board meeting as well, but as a resident. All right, so with that, we're gonna take a 5-minute recess just to kind of clear everybody out, and then we'll come back for number 14. It is 7.